to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast. And it is me, RGT, and I am joined by... Nope, it is just me. This is my first solo show. So I thought, what a better way to do a solo show and do a Hidden Gems special. I'll basically go through the Hidden Gems, which is 23 so far. And at the end of that, I'll pick my favourite 5 out of those. If you're new to the show, you never heard before, basically, if we have a show without a guest on, or a standard show, basically, I will pick a hidden gem. My criteria for a hidden gem is a game that can be for any generation, any system, right from 8-bit micros right up to the current gen, as long as there's something that you don't hear too much about and it's fairly affordable, you know, which the prices will vary because each generation, each console, you know, prices can be very, very different. But if I think it's a bargain for that system, then I'll include it in here. So also I'll go through the itinerary of the show. So I'll do what I've been playing, followed up by my brief list of the hidden gems, and then I'll follow that up with what I recommend as my favourite 5 out of those games. Right, so let's start with. I'm going to have to ask myself this now, aren't I? What have you been playing, RGT? Wow, as you all know, Tears of the Kingdom. I still not finished it. I know you're thinking, this is Harvestella all over again, but it's very good. I am close to endgame. With time that's coming up, I haven't had a lot of time. And that's not a game where I can jump in half an hour. That's something I need to go in for 2 or 3 hours, and then 2 or 3 hours have been quite scarce at the minute. But I'm coming up with some time off from work, so I'm hoping get that finished very soon. But still loving it. Great game. One of my games of the year, if not game of the year so far. Bit more Forza. Been really enjoying that. It's a big game, and as I said before, I keep sort of jumping in and out of that, and that is a game you can jump in, do a couple of races in a half-hour period, jump out. Loving the depth in that game. You know, I like my cars, and there's so many cars on there, and you can customize that car to what you want. You can do engine swaps, you can do, you know, your liveries and your paintwork, and you can just have that car tuned how you want it, and that's every car modifier's dream, I think, for a game. But yeah, loving that. Loving the area, loving the different races and the versatility of it. Really brilliant game. And I have finally jumped onto Final Fantasy 16. I played the demo, and obviously the good thing about nowadays with your demos, you can jump in once you've purchased a game. You can jump in, carry on where you left off. I'm only about 2 or 3 hours in, I would imagine. It's about 2 or 3 hours, I think. But really enjoying it so far. Really enjoying the story. I loving the combat is superb. And it's definitely got that DNA of Devil May Cry in there. Really enjoying that. I know from me and George talking on the show, and he was a bit concerned about the fast travel between places rather than the open world, but that's no issues to me at the moment. Basically, because I'm coming off the back of Tears of the Kingdom, which is one of the ultimate open worlds, so I don't mind jumping in something a little bit different with that. But yeah, loving it. I think that when I first played the demo, I thought the graphics were okay, but now I've played more of it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the graphics. Like I say, loving the combat. I have it in performance mode, so you get that 60 FPS, makes it super smooth. Really good. So really looking to getting deeper into that game and find out more about that story. I've also jumped back into, this will put over George's eyes, SnowRunner. Yeah, me and George played this a couple of years ago. Really enjoyed SnowRunner. Also played my own sort of single player game, which I put 80, 90 hours in, I think, on the PS4. But now that PS5 version is out, which is on the PlayStation Essentials, I downloaded that. Unfortunately, I couldn't carry on with my progress from before, so I've had to start again. But on the other hand, quite like starting again, starting afresh, and just refresh the memory a bit of all those bits and pieces that I'd probably forgotten and how to use the trucks, and yeah, but really enjoying that. I can see me putting some serious hours in that. I think last time I was, what did I say, 80, 90 hours, I think it was, and I was only just off the first little map. So there's hours to sink into that. But I enjoy the chill out of that game. When you've got to get your resources, fix bridges and down power cables, and you can just sit back, relax, and make your way slowly out to the areas. And sometimes you get stuck and pull yourself out and make sure you've got plenty of fuel and spares. And yeah, I love all that. It's a really good game. And the only reason I started playing it again is I was watching. You probably know, you guys probably watch as well, but there's a YouTuber called Game Right, and he's now started playing season 10. Can you believe in that game? Season 10. It seemed to have been really popular, and I just started watching his playthrough videos of that again, and just suddenly thought, oh, I need to get back into that world. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Me and Mrs. RGT have been playing for a game on the Wii, would you believe? Kate West, sort of mystery game. It's just one of those sort of pick the hidden objects and solve puzzles sort of game. Pretty basic, but I mean, obviously Mrs. RGT isn't as a hardcore gamer as I am. She likes her games, but this is something that we can just sort of sit down, gin and tonic, and play together. It's quite easy playing, It's a good game just to find all the items and work your way through the story. I mean, some people say they're shovelware on the Wii. I mean, these games are 10 a penny on the Wii, but you can pick them up. You can actually have a good time with them, don't take them too seriously. And just have a bit of fun for the evening, So we've been really enjoying that. I also had a little start on Ease 8. I know you're probably thinking that I'm not into JRPGs and that sort of thing and turn-based games. I know this isn't turn-based, but I never really was back in the day into JRPGs. But I always think that I've missed out on so many good stories and adventures. So I'm really trying to make an effort to play them, And then, as you all know from previous shows, that I had my very long playthrough of Harvestella, which is, classed as JRPG, although an action one. But I love that game, and I thought I need to try and get into these more. And obviously, I'm playing. I don't know if you'd class Final Fantasy 16 as a JRPG. It's more of a Western style RPG, but I thought I'd have a go at the E series. Everyone raves about those, and I've started playing that, and yeah, quite enjoying it. I don't know. It was not grindy, but I mean, you have to make your way through, fighting plenty of enemies and stat up, and so there's plenty of that in the game. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Definitely worth a playthrough. It's highly recommended. So I thought, why not? It's another way of easing me into the JRPGs, And I think finally, Bada Binkster, bless him, from the Discord, our graphics man, he done me a little emulation device. Looks like a little SNES controller with a little analog stick, extra buttons, and I even put my RGT emblem on the startup, which was really sweet. But I've been playing through that. I mean, there's thousands of games, and now you know what these emulation devices are like. I mean, some of them you get a bit of screen tear and bits and pieces, but I just wanted something like this for easy use. You can jump into some retro stuff, have a playthrough. It's got save states, so you can jump in and play when you have got those spare few minutes, But I've played a few arcade games now. But I started playing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but the Game Boy Color version, which is like a top-down, sort of, funnily enough, a turn-based RPG, but quite highly rated. And I've only put about 40 minutes to an hour into it so far, but I'm really enjoying it. That's a good little game. I heard that was good, as a Harry Potter game, but also as a little RPG. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that. So that's pretty much what I've been playing. I said I didn't really have time and I hadn't played a lot, but now I've listed it all. It does say more than it, but hopefully I'll be putting more into those in the coming weeks, and I can eventually get Tears of the Kingdom cleared. Now I can crack on with Final Fantasy and bits and pieces and go from there. Right, we move across to hidden gems. Like I say, I'll go through and list the hidden gems. just do your quick, brief little piece about each one, and then at the end, I'll pick my favourite five out of those. I think I had the most enjoy. I enjoyed the most playing. So when we started, or when I started doing the hidden gems, the first one was Bloodwake, um, which was an original Xbox exclusive from 2001. And it's, to me, I would say it's like Twisted Metal on water. So it's like they call it a naval combat game. It's like a alternative sort of steampunk piratey world with sort of power boats with weapons on. But it's got a story mode, so you sort of make your way through the story, and you can change your ships and upgrade, and it's quite a basic story, but it's actually good fun. The controls are good. Um, it's I mean, what does it go for now? It's £5 to £10 for a near mint copy of that, which I think is brilliant. And like I say, it's an exclusive for the system. I think I got this game by luck. Once I got into collecting years ago, picked up an original Xbox. Didn't have one back in the day. I was PS2 through and through. Never really dabbled with an original Xbox, but once I started collecting, I thought, I'm going to get myself an original Xbox. Since then, I've loved the system. It's like having a brand new system to me. There's so many exclusives for that I've been trying to pick up and play. Been having great fun. Plus, there's all the games I missed out on which were exclusive. Your Halos and etc. But yeah, this is Bloodwake, and that's an exclusive for the Xbox. And I would, for the money, I'd highly recommend it. So give it a go. Move on to number two. When I'd done the second one, I thought I'd mix it up a bit, so I went for the PlayStation 4. I think it is on other platforms, but don't quote me on that. But this is Velocity 2X. This is how can I put it? This is like almost a run and gun puzzle platformer. It sounds strange, because it's got shooter elements to it as well. Very unique game. Almost arcade in its presentation, but such great fun for how unique it is. 1 minute you're in a ship and you can walk between walls and you have to rescue people. Next minute you can dock and you're on a platformer with a bit of a run and gun. Great fun. Like I say, I think you can get this on other platforms. Vita might even be able to download this on the Switch. I'm not sure though. But you can normally pick this up for £10 or under. Same again. I think this one, that's when I used to flick through Amazon and sort of look at PS4 titles, just keep going until I found random ones I'd never heard of, and saw this, and it wasn't much then from new. So it was a bit of an indie title that got a physical release. Played it, absolutely loved it. Never did finish it, so I'd love to go back and finish it. But good soundtrack. I can't rate it enough, really. So yeah, definitely give it a go. And plus, if you do play any of these games, on my recommendation, if you download and you ever play, jump in our Discord, an official controller Discord. Great little community. Jump in there, just say RGT, this was rubbish. Don't know what you're talking about, or just say, yeah, thanks, mate. It was a good game, quite good. Enjoyed that. But also, yeah, we've got a good little community on there. It's definitely worth jumping on board. Even if that's not something you have to be on 10 hours a day. It's just something you can jump into every now and then. Even if you want to jump into once a month and you're curious about a game, chuck it in there. Chances are someone's played it and they can come back and say, yep, we've played this, very good, definitely buy it. It's just great little community. So yeah, give it a go. Anyway, move on to number 3. That was Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. This again I played on PS4, but that's on various different systems of that era. Now I know this is what you'd class as a spin-off Lara game, Tomb Raider game, but I absolutely love this. It's got that Diablo vibe. It's got that isometric dungeon crawler vibe. I played this with friends. I think you can play with up to 4 of you. So you've got the puzzles, you've got the combat replayability because you can stat up and go back through. Liked the graphics. Just a great fun game. If you get a few of you together, get a few beers, play through this. This is great fun. Um, Real sort of nod to them old isometric um, puzzle sort of RPGs from back in the day. It got pretty good reviews. I mean, you can pick this up.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Eight to £12, 10 to £20. You can do what I done. I bought the collector's edition with the little figure of almost like a little mini sort of pop vinyl figure, Funko Pop of Lara. That's a lovely little set for what you can buy it for. And yeah, I just love this. The puzzles aren't too hard. The combat's not too hard. It's just one of them good time games. It's never going to win Game of the Year award, but it's awesome to play in a group. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Going down to number 4. This was my Christmas hidden gem choice. Maybe not so much a hidden gem, but I've just gone for it because of normally at Christmas you're in a group, with your family. Not everyone's a gamer, so you want something you can play in a group that's not too complicated. So I went with Super Mario Party on the Switch. That's just a good, easy game where you can all have fun and play together and have a laugh. It's not too serious. I mean, yeah, it's Mario, so you're probably going to be looking around £20 for this game, maybe more. But for the fun you have and the hours you can put in with family and friends, it's a no-brainer, really. It is, for me, a Christmas time game if you're in that big, family environment. So, yeah, not much more to say about that. But yeah, Super Mario Party on the Switch. And then George got me to do a blind pick, as George does on the spot every now and then. So he got me to go to my game shelves, close my eyes, grab a game, and then try and recommend it. Well, actually, it turned out to be a good one, and that was Driver San Francisco. This was on the PS3, but you can get Xbox 360. Same again, this is £7 to £12, depending on version. £30 to £40, you could pick up the special edition with a lovely model car in there. But yeah, £7 to £12, depending on where you get it from. This was, brilliant, I think. Drive had us down times with parallel lines and all the other messes they'd done, but they really pulled it out of the bag with this. This was about John Tanner, and he was a cop. And it's, you're trying to stop I think he was an escaped prisoner, but this had a bit of a twist to it, where you could warp out your car and go and take and almost possess the person in any other car on the road. So if you're chasing a bad guy, you can zoom into a car ahead, make a roadblock, bits and pieces. Unique, very good, and I loved it. I could not put that game down when I got it. So yeah, if you want a really good driving game with a decent story for PS3 or the Xbox 360, yeah, grab Driver San Francisco. Number 6 was Puzzle Chronicles on the PSP. You can also get this on DS, and I think it was even available on the Xbox store. I don't know if it still is. But yeah, I mean, you can pick this up £2 to £5 for this. And funny enough, that was a Konami game, and it was a puzzle-based RPG, very light RPG, but nevertheless, it gave you that progression through the puzzles. So you battle your enemies and your bosses with puzzles. Quite a short game, but yeah, really enjoyable. I'm never really much of just a puzzle-only game, and I'm not really much of sort of these as I've said before, turn-based RPGs, but having a puzzle RPG was something, a little bit different. And for the money, great fun. Definitely worth a pickup. And like I say, that's PSP or DS. So, yeah, give it a go. Number 7 was Colony Wars, the PlayStation 1, 1997 game. And this is a space sim shooter. You could pick this up £4 to £7, which is £10 for an absolute mint copy, which I think is an absolute bargain. For me, this is one of the best games on the PlayStation, original PlayStation. I know that says, a lot of people are thinking, wow, with all the games that are on there, but I think graphically superb for the era. I know it was a space game, so obviously you've got a lot of dark skies with just stars, but it was good graphics. Ships look good. Your first person view from in your ship look really good. The controls are really tight, and the space combat's really good, and it had a decent story to it. And I think, above all, if you do play and finish a game, which it is quite a tough game, I think there's different endings you can get depending on how you do in the levels. Not all endings are good from what I hear. There is 2 other games in the series, so there is 3 there, and they're not expensive either, which I think is an absolute bargain. I think there was Vengeance and Red Sun, and I've only dabbled with those. I need to get right into the story of those, but as far as I know, the games get better as they go along. So there's a good trilogy of games there to be had for not a lot of money on your original PlayStation. So if you like space games and you collect for PlayStation, give it a go. Number 8. I played this on PS4. I believe it might have even been a PS Plus game gone back a few years. But this was Lumo. Lumo is another sort of isometric, but a classic puzzle adventure. If you're, as old as me, showing my age now, but if you played on your 8-bit micros back in the day and you enjoyed games like Night Law and one of the Batman games that are on the Spectrums, then this is like a love letter back to those isometric puzzle games. Even the sound does it for me. It takes me right back to the 80s. But yes, that's a great little game. It's just a little gem of a game. You just start off as a kid who's sort of drawn into a game, and you end up being like a little wizard with your wizard hat on, and you have to go through and solve all these rooms to make your way back to the end of the game by solving these puzzles in each room. Great fun. I mean, even the little collectibles are 80s cassette tapes. What more can you want for a little nostalgia? You can also get, I think it's on PC, it's on Switch, Xbox One, so there's plenty of choice to pick this up. And I mean, you'll pick it up for, depending on system you're playing on, about £8 to £15. But definitely give it a go. If you like your puzzle games and you want something that's, like I say, that nostalgia hit, then try Lumo. Number 9 was Cold Fear. I played this on the PS2. It was on PC and original Xbox. Probably I'd recommend to you if you got a collector of a few systems, play this on the original Xbox just for the powerhouse it was. You get them crisp graphics on the original Xbox versions of those games from that era. This is good. It's like a survival horror game. Plays a bit similar to Res 4, but this one's more at sea. So you get put on a Russian whaling ship. But it's all not quite what it seems when you get on there and start getting attacked. You make your way through the ship. Good fun. Very good graphics for the era. Very, very good graphics for the era. And it's, I love the way they done it with the ship rocking, and you have to use certain things as you're in storms. Really good. If you like your survival horrors, see, this is another reason why I picked this as a hidden gem. When you think of survival horrors, hardly anyone mentions Cold Fear. You have your standard resis and bits and pieces, but this one tends to go under the radar. So give Cold Fear a try. I mean, it's £10 to £20, depending on system you pay for. But I mean, for a really good survival horror game on that generation, not a bad price as far as I'm concerned. Right, number 10, The Red Star. This is another PS2 title. It was technically a PS2 exclusive, but it did come as a download only on the PSP. But majority of people would have played this on the PS2. Um, this was good because it was sort of a Russian based game again, but it was like 2.5D, good graphics again, lovely parallax scrolling, and it was side scrolling, beat 'em up, come sort of shooter. But then when sometimes you'd face a boss, and that would be vertical bosses you'd fight, and that's almost like a space shooter with the weapons coming out and the bullets coming at you, which you were dodging and trying to hit your bosses. Same again, quite a unique game. Um, Used to be just completely under the radar and cheap years ago. It's creeping up now. I mean, £7 to £12, £15 for an absolute minter. But if you can pick this up for £7 to £12, that's an absolute must on PS2 as far as I'm concerned. It's tough. It's not an easy game. I won't lie. It is tough, but it's good. It's worth having just because I think in a few years that is going to go up in price. Game number 11, Deadly Creatures. This was out in 2009, action adventure game. THQ done this, and this was an exclusive for the Wii. And I picked this because it's quite good graphics for the Wii, quite decent. It's got a story mode to it, but the reason is I picked this is just because how unique it is. It's a game where you play as animals and insects, and you alternate between a tarantula and a scorpion on a survival mission. It's quite good. It's quite realistic how the spider and that moves. It's not too tough, but it's different, and you'll find you'll have boss fights with a snake. And plus, thanks to Pat Zangief for picking this out for me, it uses the voices of Billy Bob Thornton and Dennis Hopper, which is a lot of people don't know with the game. But I mean, you can pick this up £5 to £10, and same again. I think if you've got a Wii, and even if you're not much of a collector for a Wii, but just like a nice different selection of games, this has got to be a must for me. So yeah, give it a go. Deadly Creatures. Number 12, back on the OG Xbox, and this was Crimson Skies, another original Xbox exclusive. This game is brilliant. I love this game. I mean, this was when Microsoft were knocking exclusives out of the park for their first system. And this was like an arcade sort of flight story-based game in a steampunk world. I know that sounds quite a lot to take in, but you know, they've done a great job making this. Sort of an alternative steampunk 1930s. And you just like Pirates of the Skies. You know, you'll pilot different aircraft on various missions, taking out the evil pilots, and the missions vary from what you have to do. And it's quite a hooky story that hooks you in the story. It's not too deep, but you just want to keep progressing, get that next mission, get it done. And same again, controls are so tight. And for an original Xbox exclusive, you'll pay £5 to £10 for a really good copy of this, and I can't recommend it enough. If you've got an OG Xbox, you want to collect for it, this one has got to be top of the list. Number 13, we're back on the Wii. This is Cursed Mountain for the Wii. This was out 2009 as well. And this is sort of action adventure, survival horror. Not too scary, but that's in that sort of genre. Wasn't that liked by people first time round, but now I think now you look back, it's a game that's getting quite popular. People are playing it again and thinking, oh, this is actually something different for the Wii and quite good. And it's like it's a bit of a Res 4 clone again, but no, really good. It's sort of it's got that third person. I played it with motion controls, but they're okay, they're not too bad. And a sort of a rock climbing game in the Himalayas. He plays a guy called Eric who's looking for his lost mountain climbing brother. Doesn't sound too in-depth story, but you got demons and ghosts to deal with on your way through. Yeah, unique for the system, and for you can pick this up £3 to £5. You've got nothing to lose. Get it in your Wii collection. Give it a go. Number 14 was Starflight. This was a released in 1991, the Mega Drive stroke Genesis. Now, I know this is probably to our more retro collectors being a Mega Drive game, and it was priced to 20. You know, you pick this up priced £20 to £30. Sounds a lot, but like I say, prices are comparison to the systems they're on. You know, quite a few Mega Drive games go for mega money. If you can pick a really good game up for £20 to £30, you're doing quite well. But the reason I like this one, this is if someone done a demake of No Man's Sky, this is probably it. So if you imagine No Man's Sky on a 16-bit console, this is the game. And the game is quite vast for the system it's on for on a cartridge. There's 270 star systems on this game, 800 planets, and that's on a 16-bit system. And you can upgrade your ship parts. You can find planets to mine. You have a terrain vehicle. You can go on a planet to explore. You can log planets for colonization. But there's so much you can do on this game on a system that was out in the late 80s, early 90s. This was a big game, and I think if you can pick this up for a good price, Starflight, it's so underrated on the system. People don't talk about it, but great fun and way ahead of its time. So yeah, if you're a Mega Drive collector, give it a go. Number 15, we jump across to Sega Saturn here, which was Wing Arms. Came out in 1995, flight sim. Another flight game. You can tell I quite like me arcade flight game. But Wing Arms is probably my favourite flight game on the system. They call it a flight sim. I mean, it's technically more arcadey, but it's got really nice controls on. Same again, that's sort of an alternative sort of past after World War in 1945. If I remember, so the story's quite weak. That's a company called Avalon were supplying all the weapons and planes and bits for the war. So they were doing really well. And when the war ended, they wanted it to carry on so they can keep making money. And you end up fighting against Avalon. And you just do various missions of destroying bases to dogfighting to different bits and pieces. Looks good on the system. Great fun to play. And I mean, you can pick this up complete for £15 to £25, which for a Saturn game nowadays, and for a good one, is a decent price. So yeah, definitely give it a go. We then move along to number 16, which was Driver 76, 2007 game. This was a PSP game, which I believe, I don't know if it came out on the PC. I think it might have been exclusive. This is a driving game. Reminds me of the GTA sort of 3, Vice City, San Andreas era, but more just driving alone. It's like a sort of Driver and GTA had molded together, and this is the game you come out of it. Quite a short game, not too hard, but yeah, great fun. I like the era setting. It's got that style to it, and it's very basic story. But I mean, you can pick this up £4 to £8. It's good fun, good controls, and if you like your driving games and want to blitz through a game fairly quickly on the system, it's a no-brainer, really. So yeah, give Driver 76 a go. Number 17 is Zombies Zombies Ain't My Neighbours. This is a run and gun game, basically. 1993. It's on the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive. I have the Super Nintendo version. If you haven't played this or heard of it, then yeah, definitely get yourself a copy. You can, if you're clever and you shop around, you'll get this for under £20. But it's so good. It's got that lovely sort of 1950s B movie aesthetic in pixel art. That looks really good. Controls are really good. Sound is good. The music's good. It's got these little cut scenes in between, which like B movies. And it's just, it's your usual story of the era. Mad scientist releases this sort of plague on the town, and you go through various settings in the town, trying to rescue your neighbours, basically. It's 48 levels plus bonus levels, and you've got all different weapons and bombs, and you're that cool looking kid with your shades and your spiky hair with your 90s attitude. And you can play 2 players on this. Same again, great fun game, great for the system. I think it's slightly more expensive, on a Mega Drive. But I can't fault the SNES version, which is one I've got. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Zombies Ain't My Neighbours. Give it a go. Number 18 was a sports game. This is Sega Soccer Slam. I chose this because mostly, if you want sort of just an arcadey, good fun football game nowadays, most people go for Mario Strikers. But I thought this was sort of Sega's attempt at it. And it's not as good as Mario Strikers. It's not, but still great fun to be had. I mean, single player's got a lot of quest mode, which is good fun. But then you can also have good fun with your friends playing against each other. You know, it's really over the top, these super powerful shots and overhead kicks, and you know, it's just good fun. And for £5 to £8, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, it's also available for GameCube and Xbox. I haven't played those versions, so I can't quote on those. I played the PS2 one, but I would imagine on the GameCube and Xbox they look pretty good. So yeah, give it a go. That's Sega Soccer Slam. Number 19 is Shocks. This was out in 2002 for the PS2, and this is an exclusive. Got good ratings at the time. You can pick this up £4 to £6. For me, this is a proper hidden gem. No one talks about it. It's cheap. It's great fun. It's well made. It's nice graphics. And it's just one of them you can jump in, have great fun racing. A sort of cross between rally driving and rally cross. It's got 24 licensed vehicles, and your tracks vary from desert, jungle, snow, etc. But you have 3 shock zones on each track. So if you get graded the best style on each of those zones, which is gold, I believe, you then unlock the night track on that track. Very arcade style game. It's got pumping music on there, really good. The commentators are good, really remind me of them arcade commentators. So it's real high octane racing, but great fun. And for £4 to £6, same again, like I keep saying, it's a no-brainer for the PS2. If you collect for that system, definitely pick it up. Number 20, we're back to the original PlayStation 1. And this is Galaga Destination Earth, released in 2000. This is shoot 'em up, but it's if you think of Galaga, the original arcade machine, we've all heard of Galaga, we all know the original Galaga. They've took this to their generation at the time. So you've got side-scrolling shooting, you've got vertical shooting, which is like the original Galaga, but also you've got the 3D behind the ship shooting on this, which controls are weird to get to start with, but it really adds something to the game. So your levels, as you go through the level, you swap between the different modes of the game. And I think they've done it quite well. I quite like the graphics. Behind the ship 3D looks good. Like I say, it's weird to get used to, but it's great fun. But it still has that Galaga DNA in. It's still got some of the sounds. You've still got some of the moves you can do. But they flip some of the moves as well. Like if you remember, anyone who's played Galaga, you can have one of your ships captured. You can then shoot the enemy ship, and then your ship has replaced you, so you're using 2. So you've got double the firepower. In this game, you've got your own laser beam, and you can get one of the enemy ships to join you and then shoot with you. So it's that nice little twist, but still keeping the originality of the original game. You can pick this up £8 to £15 complete for the PlayStation 1. And same again. No one ever really talked about it. I think it went under the radar a lot. But I think that's good fun. If you like your shooters, give it a go. Next one was we're up to number 21, and that was Haunting starring Poltergeist. I played this for on the Mega Drive. And this is probably, you're looking about £20 to £40 now. Sounds a lot, but then again, like I say, you have to think of the system it's on. I always thought quite a lot of people knew about this game, but the more I look into it, the more a lot of people don't know about it. And I just love it again. Same again, like Zombies, it's got that 90s sort of tune to it. And you play as Poltergeist, and you basically are a poltergeist. And you're a punk teenager who died because of a faulty skateboard made by a company owned by Vito Sardini. And as a result, you seek revenge on him and his family. You have to haunt them through their various places. You get 3 different frightens to scare them with. It's isometric. It's good fun. You can do all different things. that's funny, that's got that real 90s sense of humour. And it's just, I think it's brilliant, even today to play, even though it's that old and 16-bit, it's a great way to play it. You've got 4 houses in total to play through. You've got 400 objects to interact with. But if you really want to play this and you have a PSP, the way to do it is get EA Replay. You can pick that up for £5 to £12, and that's got a Haunting starring Poltergeist on, and it's got 13 other titles, all the classics on from EA. So that's the way to play it. If you're not a collector for Mega Drive, or you think £20 to £40 too expensive, get on the PSP route. That's a great way to play it. It plays really well on there, and it's a game you shouldn't really miss. Right, let's go on to 22. And this was Empire of Steel. I thought I'd add this one in because I lent this to Digital Monkery. And he played this because he didn't know what it was. And I said, yeah, give it a go. It's side-scrolling shooter. It's on a Mega Drive. Steampunk world. And same again, you never hear people talk about this. A lot of people complain this is too easy. It was made deliberately like that because shooters at the time were normally very, very hard. So they tried to do an easy, level of entry to the game. It was out in 1992. You can pick this up. This is £20 to £30, around a £20 mark. If you're clever, you can pick this up for about £20, but £5 to £10 for a loose cartridge. If you're not worried about CIB, £5 to £10 for a loose cart. But I really enjoy this. I love the graphics on it; they're good. The only thing I'd say probably downside to the game, music's a bit and sound effects are a bit but other than that, it's something different. I mean, they did do a version on the Game Boy Advance, but that's very expensive. And I think there was a version on the 3DS store, but I don't think you can get that anymore. Limited Run have done a Switch version too, but if you're on Steam, you got a PC, you'd pick this up for a couple of bucks, £2, £2.50. I haven't played that one, but it's got the more uprated graphics on, which look nice. But yeah, if you're into Mega Drives and you want a steampunk side scroll and shooter, and it's got the Empire of Steel. And then finally, that brings us up to 23, brings us up to date, which is Rad Rogers. Now, this is by Slipgate Studios, which was originally a Kickstarter, but it was taken on by THQ Nordic. It's an action platformer. Came out in 2018. You'll pick this up £5 to £10, so it's pretty reasonable. So I played PS4, but it's available on Switch and Xbox One. This is good fun. It's got nice little graphics. New player's Rad. There's a little lad, gets in trouble with his mum, usual story, falls asleep. When he wakes up, he gets sucked into the game world through his computer system, and he's accompanied by his little friend Rusty. He's an old computer, and you end up having this assault rifle, and it's almost like a run and gun platformer. But sometimes you'll have like mini games where you use Rusty, and there'll be an actual glitch in the game. You have to go into the game and fix the glitches, which is a nice little touch. It's got light humour. It's quite funny. It's got good controls. And the aim of each level, you have to find 4 puzzle pieces, or you can move on. Like I say, it's nice graphics. Got a nice little nostalgia trip to them old 16-bit and 8-bit gaming days. So yeah, give it a go. That's Rad Rogers. So and again, I think I found out about this just by looking through Amazon, funnily enough. And a lot of these other games I'd either picked up at video game shows, bits and pieces, seen videos of people doing, their hidden gems online. But majority of them I just picked up in the wild, had a play, and thought, oh, these are quite good, but no one ever speaks about them. Right, I think there's a little bit there for everyone. I hope everyone liked those. And we'll go down to my fave 5. Out of those 23, I'd say my favourite 5 out of those, I either had most fun playing, still play to this day, or have good memories of playing, or I play again, more regularly. So I'll do the 5 in no particular order. I think Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. Put a lot of hours into that. I played through with 2 friends of mine, and loved it. And I didn't realise the upgrades on that to start with. So I played through with one friend, and when I played for another friend, I was all super powered to go through again, which made the game easier, but made it really good as well. Yeah, loved playing that. couch co-op, sitting down, having a beer with friends, playing through that. That's great adventure. Not too complicated, not too hard upgrade system. You get some of these isometric sort of puzzle platforms or RPGs, quite difficult in your sub menus and your stats ups and your magics and all that. This is toned that right down. Just a good, easy, good fun time. Looks good and cheap. So yeah, like I say, definitely recommend Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. One of my other ones, number two, I'd say, like I say, these are no particular order. These are just five. That's not part of the top five. Colony Wars, PlayStation 1. I just think that's a brilliant game for the system. Really in depth. Really pushes the system to what it can do. Good story. I also find games that generation that's hard to get a game to suck you in. I know people struggle with them early 3D graphics. That's hard to get lost in that world, but I really do in Colony Wars. And like I say, it's tough. It's a tough game. It's a good story. You get the feeling that you are in space. It looks good. And for the money, it's a no-brainer if you like space games, especially retro one. Number three, I went with Crimson Skies. Same again, because that was early on in getting my OG Xbox and got this game, put it in and just thought, wow, what have I missed out on? Why didn't I have an original Xbox back in the day? All these exclusives, they're cheap now and they're great fun. Still look good. I mean, powerhouse of a console. Loved it. I'd never played anything like that on the PS2. Not like a story-based steampunk flying game. It's so unusual, but brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Number four, I'll go with Starflight. Same again. I didn't have this back in the day. I got this a lot later on, only a few years ago, to be honest. And I think I saw this on Retro Gamer Boy. Our good friend Mike Race. He'd recommended this, and that's where I think I originally saw it. And then a few months later, I bought it. I was just amazed at the depth. They were so far forward with making this game. How much they put into it, or just on that little cartridge, just amazed me. I mean, you can have hours of fun on this. And I think George played this on Atari ST, I believe, and he was the same thing. He had hours of fun when he was younger playing this. I think it's awesome game. And same again, people don't speak of it. You don't hear people speaking about this game, which is sad, really, because it is, it's brilliant for the era. And then we go down to my number five, which is Zombies Ate My Neighbours. Just for, I don't think there's, you always get, from retro games up to modern games, there's always something where you think, that could have been better. This could have been better. I think this game is just about perfect. There's loads of levels. There's great level design. The graphics are good. The pixel art is lovely. The controls are superb. The music's good. You can play in co-op. It's just a great all-round fun game that you can put hours into, try and beat the levels. You can do it with your mates, and it's not going to break the bank to do it. So it's, brilliant game. And them five, I can't recommend enough. I love all the games on the lists, but those five are the ones I've probably had the most fun with, or ones that I really want to get stuck into more in the future. That's pretty much it. A bit of a short show. But that's, I thought I'd try a little hidden gem special. And also, don't forget, 16th of August, me and George will be at the Timeless Games Convention in the Bury Arcade Club, put your teeth in Manchester. Really looking forward to this. Their lineup is just getting better and better. Go on their website and you just look at the list, and the tickets are selling. So if you're going to go, get your ticket because they're in long now. But really looking forward to that. If you're in the area, you listen to the show, come and say hi. Like I say, me and George will be there. We're doing a panel as well, podcast panel. So you can ask us a few questions, bits and pieces. Ask us why we're so terrible and average. But no, seriously, if you want to get tickets, definitely get them now because they are selling very, very fast. And there probably is not going to be many left. Right, and that only leaves me to say, don't forget, nothing wrong being given the unofficial controller. That's what you do. It counts. See you later, guys.